SMU is more than prepared to make concessions to secure a spot in the Pac-12 Power 5 Conference, but an invitation isn't quite imminent. Not today, according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Mac Engel's article that was released this afternoon. That's what we're going to be going through. Episode 153 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football. We love everything in college football, and if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button and share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight to the article. Mac Engel, Fort Worth Telegram, just released this afternoon describing the SMU situation. SMU to the Pac-12 makes sense for SMU, but this is a complicated issue for the league. SMU's interest level in joining the Pac-12 Conference is so high, it's ready to help cover some of the costs. According to people familiar with the discussions between the Pac-12 Conference and SMU, the private school in Dallas is more than prepared to make certain concessions in order to secure a spot in the league. One concession would be a willingness to agree to a substantial decrease in revenue sharing for the first years in the league, as well as potentially covering its own expenses. SMU, they get it. They get it. Climb that wall. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Climb that wall. Get into a Power 5 conference. We do not know what the future is going to be. None of us do. In the gold rush of 2026, where there's going to be a new playoff structure, a new playoff distribution, even different than what's going to look like in 2024, 2025. It's paramount. If you have the ability to climb the wall and get to a Power 5 conference, do so. SMU is prepared to make concessions. A school that enters a new conference, back to the article, agrees to take less in revenue sharing. TCU did it in the Big 12. What SMU is contemplating in that area is beyond the norm. SMU has made it zero secret its desire to join a power league, but its invite to the Pac-12 is not quite imminent. This is not a done deal, because there are high-ranking members of current Pac-12 schools that are unsure if the combination of SMU and San Diego State are good ads and add value to the league. We're going to circle back on this once we're done with the article. Remember, it is not a done deal. The invite to the Pac-12 is not quite imminent, according to Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Mac Engel. Back to the article. Why the Pac-12 is considering SMU. The Pac-12, which will soon lose UCLA and USC to the Big Ten, is reportedly in discussions to extend invitations to San Diego State and SMU as replacements. When Pac-12 Commissioner George Kliavkoff was in Dallas last week to meet with SMU administrators, SMU sent an email to students asking them to be sure to attend the SMU home men's basketball game that night against Temple. They wanted a good showing for Kliavkoff, who attended the game. Unlike previous times when SMU's name has been dangled around the topic of conference realignment, this time it feels different. To try to compensate for the losses of the two Pac-12 biggest schools and its entire presence in Southern California, Kliavkoff has to find solutions. The league is considering San Diego State and SMU in an effort to add value as it looks to negotiate a new media rights deal with any platform that will fork over hundreds of millions of dollars for live sports content. According to longtime college sports reporter Brett McMurphy of the Action Network, CBS and Turner are currently no longer involved in Pac-12 media rights negotiations. Adding San Diego State gives the Pac-12 the best of what's left in Southern California. Adding SMU gives the Pac-12 a presence in the coveted Dallas-Fort Worth market and a shot of having some early kickoffs in the Central Time Zone. And finally, is the Pac-12 together? The question for the remaining Pac-12 schools is, will adding in San Diego State and an SMU be enough to warrant sticking together and to remain a viable power league? Publicly, the Pac-12 remains all in on sticking this out. It issued a united statement this week, which reads like a vote of confidence, which seldom actually inspires any confidence. Privately, there's a real fear that the Big Ten and the Big 12 would successfully recruit away the likes of Washington, Oregon, and others, and that the Pac-12 just won't be the Pac-12 anymore. 2 money shots in that article. 1, SMU is willing, they're more than prepared to make concessions. I would argue with the new playoff money, distribution money that's coming for 2024, 2025, we here peek around the corner. We've often said, SMU, give that extra playoff money to the other schools, the 10 other schools in the Pac-12. Make them whole. For your invitation, for your spot to be secured, you're going to make concessions. That's one of the concessions you can make. And possibly concessions on the media money that the Pac-12 is going to get, right? Give some over to the other Pac-12 schools, the current Pac-12 schools. But whatever you do as SMU, get over the wall, climb the wall, do whatever you can to get the invite. Do not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And I think SMU gets it. According to this article at Fort Worth Telegram by Mac Engel, SMU gets it. The other point of this article, the invitation isn't quite imminent, according to Matt Engel. Now, in this article, it talks about how there's some high-ranking officials at other Pac-12 universities that aren't quite yet convinced that SMU and San Diego State are a good ad, but mainly SMU. Now, we've talked about here at Peek Around the Corner. We've had live shows. We broke the news on January 31st, the day after the Pac-12 meeting, that Arizona State spoke up. They were not very keen so far in the process, the Pac-12 meeting negotiations process, on how they've handled this, the commissioner. And also we've got a letter from the Arizona State Money Perch. The same gentleman that broke us the news on the Pac-12 meeting also said that Arizona State is a no vote at this time for an SMU invite into the conference. What is Arizona State going to get out of this? Specifically, what is Arizona State going to get out of this if they say yes to SMU? And according to this article, it sounds like there's other schools that may be a no vote for SMU. So the invitation is not imminent, according to this article. And we agree here at Peek Around the Corner. But SMU going to do all they can to climb the wall. Put down your thoughts. Put down your thoughts and comments in the comment section below the video. What can SMU do? What can they do to grab that invite? The horse trading is on. And SMU is willing to make concessions beyond the norm. Good for you, SMU. Good for you. Make concessions. Get in. Climb that wall. Until next time. From all of us at Peek Around the Corner, to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.